Good morning, everyone. I'm Jubimera Pisora, tasked to present about practical ecology. First, we define what is practical ecology. Practical ecology is also known as applied ecology, a field of study that focuses on applying ecological principles to real-world situations. It involves understanding how organisms interact with their environment and using that knowledge to solve environmental problems, manage resources, and promote sustainability. The key aspects of practical ecology. First, the environmental monitoring. This involves collecting data on various environmental factors such as air and water quality, biodiversity, and habitat condition. Second, we have the habitat restoration, restoring degraded or damaged ecosystems to their natural state or a more functional state. And third, the resource management, managing natural resources such as forests, fisheries, and water supplies in a sustainable way to ensure their long-term availability. We have also conservation biology, protecting biodiversity by identifying and addressing threats to endangered species and habitats. And lastly, the environmental education, raising awareness about environmental issues and promoting responsible environmental practices. And these are the different key aspects of practical ecology. Under this practical ecology, we will discuss and learn about the different edible and medicinal plants present in our province and also about fibers. First, we define what is edible and medicinal. Edible. These plants are safe to consume and provide nutritional value. They can be eaten raw, cooked, or processed into various food products. While medicinal are plants contain compounds that have therapeutic effects on our body. They can be used to treat a variety of ailments from common colds to chronic conditions. And we have an activity. It's called Sing and Dance. And the class will group into two, and each group will select an edible and medicinal plant or plants along with its uses and create a song about the chosen plant or plant's uses and develop dance steps to go along with it. For 20 minutes, compose that song, and after 20 minutes, you perform it. And this is an example of it. Please, mom and sir, let's stand, sing, and dance with this video.
You know how it helps us in so many ways? Sing along and find out. I love you very, very much. I love you very, very much. There's a lot you can do with me only if you see me as such. I love you very, very much. I love you very, very much. There's a lot you can do with me only if you see
And that's an aloe vera, an edible and medicinal plants. So, mom and sir, begin the activity. Assume that after 20 minutes, the class perform their activity. So, let's discuss about the different edible and medicinal plants present in our province. First, we have the dandelion, Tarasacum officinale. This ubiquitous plant is a rich source of vitamins and minerals. Its leaves can be eaten raw or cooked, and its flowers can be used to make tea or wine. Its medicinal uses are for digestive health, where it helps with appetite. It has also anti-inflammatory effects, which reduces inflammation, and for liver health, it supports detoxification. And it has also antioxidant properties, which protects against cell damage. And it is also regulate our blood sugar levels and for increases in urine production. And also, it has essential vitamins and minerals to boost our immune system. Second example, Acapulco or Cassia alata. They can be boiled to make a tea or crush and applied directly to the affected area. The leaves are typically used for medicinal purposes. Acapulco is a popular remedy for various skin diseases such as ringworms, fungal infections, insect bites, eczema, and scabies. It's also used to treat bronchitis, asthma, and to get rid of intestinal parasites. We have also banaba or Lagerscrumemia speciosa. Banaban leaves are typically used to make tea. This tree with beautiful white purple flowers is a popular supplement for health problems associated with the kidneys such as inflammation, urinary dysfunctions, constipation, and kidney failure. It also helps regulate blood sugar levels. Have also Nugan or Quisquia lis indica. This vine is known for its anti-helminthic properties, meaning it's used to get rid of intestinal worms. For children, 5 to 7 dried and matured seeds should be ingested 2 hours after eating. And for adults, need to consume 8 to 10 seeds for the plant to work. And also, pansit-pansitan or Pepe Rumia pellucida. Pansit-pansitan is a shallow-rooted herb characterized by shiny, heart-shaped leaves and small dot seeds. It can be prepared as a salad or boiled to make tea. It can be eaten either cooked or raw and is used to help treat gout, arthritis, abscesses, and other inflammation conditions. We have also tawa-tawa or Euphorbia hirta. While it originated in the tropical regions of the Americas, tawa-tawa is typically prepared as tea. Tawa-tawa has been used in the Philippines to treat fevers, particularly those caused by dengue and malaria, as it helps increase blood platelet count. It also helps maintain the upper respiratory system and boosts our immune system. And also we have Chaang gubat or Eretia microphylla. Chaang gubat leaves are typically used to make tea. It is used to address abdominal pains, colic, diarrhea, and skin allergies. It is also used as a mouthwash due to the high fluoride content of the leaves. We have also yerba buena or Mentha piperita. It can be taken internally in the form of tea. It is effective as an analgesic to relieve body aches and pains, particularly caused by gout and rheumatism, as well as toothache and stomachache, or used externally by applying the pounded leaves directly to the affected area. And also atswete or Bixa orellana. Seeds are used as a natural food coloring and flavoring in various dishes, such as pancit, miki, o abra. The seeds and leaves are used to treat skin, infections, wounds, and burns. And also turmeric or curcuma lunga. The rhizome is used as spice in cooking, known for its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, used to treat various ailments, including arthritis, digestive issues, and skin conditions. Another example of edible and medicinal plant is tamarind or Tamarindus indica. It is a tropical fruit with a sweet and tangy taste that is used in cooking and traditional medicine. Tamarind is used in curries, soups, marinades, chutneys, drinks, sweets, and pickles in various cuisines around the world. Tamarind also helps with digestion. It relieves constipation and treats diarrhea and indigestion. It has anti-inflammatory properties that can reduce joint pain and skin inflammation. Tamarind is also used for fever, wound healing, blood sugar regulation, cardiovascular health, liver protection, and also skin care. We have also miracle fruit or Syncephalum dulcificum. It's a small berry used to make sour foods like lemons and vinegar taste sweet. It can be used as a natural sugar substitute. It may help control our blood sugar levels, help prevent cancer, help treat gout, and also protect against seizures. And also, we have duck lettuce or tarabang or Otelia alismoides. It is a plant that grows in water and is used for food and medicine, especially in Southeast Asia. The leaves and stems are eaten cooked in soups and stir fries. The fruit is eaten raw or cooked. It's used for hemorrhoids, fever, abscesses, cancer, ulcers, burns, and tuberculosis. It's also used for snake bites, bleeding, and skin problems. And we have also water lilies or Nymphaea pubescens. They are beautiful flowers that grow in water, but they also have uses for food and medicine. The roots are starchy and can be eaten cooked or raw. The flower buds can be cooked or pickled. The seeds can be popped, ground into flour, or are used as thickener. They might help control blood sugar and good for our liver, help with pain and inflammation, and they have antioxidant properties. It helps with breathing problems and also help with stress, anxiety, and sleep problems. And we have also watercress, known as Nasturtium officinale. It is a leafy green vegetable that has been used for food and medicine for a long time. The leaves and stems are eaten in salads, sandwiches, and soups. The seeds can be eaten, sprouted, or in salads. It is rich in antioxidants which are good for your health, help control blood sugar, detoxify our body. And it helps also with water retention. And it might help relieve coughs, good for our heart and for our digestion. And lastly, example of edible and medicinal plant, we have paku or fiddle headed ferns or Machutia Strophyopteris. They are the curled offshoots of ferns that are eaten as a food. They taste like asparagus or green beans with a nutty flavor. They need to be cooked thoroughly before eating. They can be added to salads, stir fries, pasta dishes, omelettes, soups, or served as a side dish. And this plant is good for our health because they have antioxidant. They help with blood pressure and weight loss, and this plant traditionally used for other health problems. And these are the common examples of edible and medicinal plants present in our province. And we have also to note that while these plants have been used traditionally for medicinal purposes, it is crucial to consult with a healthcare professional before using them, especially if you have any pre-existing health conditions or taking medications. We have to note this caution and consideration. We have the identification. Proper identification is essential to ensure you are using the correct plant. Misidentification can lead to poisoning or other adverse effect. And we have also the dosage. The appropriate dosage of medicinal plants are varies depending on the individual and the condition being treated. Consult with a qualified herbalist or a healthcare professional before using any plant for medicinal purposes. And we have also the interactions. Some plants can interact with medications or other herbs. It's important to disclose any medications or supplements you are taking to your healthcare provider before using any plant for medicinal purposes, and for also for pregnancy and lactation. Some plants are not safe for pregnant or breastfeeding women. Consult with your healthcare provider before using any plant during these periods. And we have also the importance and applications. These plants have use for many purposes. And it is for also food security, and they provide food sources, especially in times of scarcity or when access to conventional food is limited. And it is also used for traditional medicine. Many cultures have long relied on these plants for their healing properties. Traditional medicine systems often incorporate herbal remedies into their practices, and also for modern medicine. Growing or research continues to uncover the potential of these plants for treating various diseases and conditions. Some plants derived compounds are now used in modern pharmaceuticals. And also for our sustainability, growing and using these plants can contribute to be a more sustainable lifestyle or reducing reliance on processed foods and synthetic medications. Edible and medicinal plants are very important in our society and also for our ecology to balance. So, that's are the caution and considerations, the importance and applications of the edible and medicinal plants with its uses in our environment. So, let's proceed to the topic. The fibers. Fibers is a hair-like raw material directly obtainable from animal, plant, or mineral sources, and also it is convertible into non-woven fabrics such as a felt or paper and or after spinning into yarns into woven cloth. And we have three types of fibers. First, the natural fiber, an agglomeration of cells in which the diameter is negligible in comparison with the length from natural growing sources, such as plants, animals, or geological processes, and is used for various applications, primarily in textiles, composites. And we have also synthetic fibers, also known as man-made fibers, come from chemicals usually taken from coal or oil. Man-made from non-renewable resources, are not biodegradable, are not considered to be environmentally friendly. So synthetic fibers are manufactured in chemical plants. Simple chemicals, or also known as monomers, are joined together to form complex chain molecules, or called polymers. This process is called polymerization. Polymers are used to make this fiber. The synthetic fibers have also regenerated fibers. Regenerated fibers are come from a natural source. For example, from wood pulp, vine, fine, or eucalyptus trees. The cellulose fibers are processed to remove impurities, treated with chemicals. Further processing results in a regenerated fiber. Regenerated fibers are more environmentally friendly than synthetic fibers. Before we proceed to the different classifications and uses of these fibers, let's have a game. So, did you enjoy the game? If yes, so let's have an activity. Group the class into three, and each group present the different types of fibers with its different uses. Group 1 will assign to present about natural fibers with its different types. And group 2, it's all about synthetic fibers with its different types also. And also, group 3, the regenerated fibers with its different types and uses. You will present it after 20 minutes. So, class, let's the activity begin. Assume after 20 minutes, the class present the different fibers. So, let's summarize it into these slides. First, the classification of natural fibers. So we have the animal, the mineral, and also from plant or vegetable. First, let's move to the natural fibers of animal. From animal fibers, these are derived from animal sources, primarily proteins like collagen, keratin, and fibrin. This is the most important animal fiber, the wool. This is obtained from the fleece of sheep, goats, and other animals. Wool is warm and elastic, and this is the different uses for clothing, home textiles, industrial applications, felt production, knitting and weaving, insulation, and also gardening and medical uses. And we have also silk. This is the only naturally continuous filament produced. This is produced by silkworms who spin cocoons made of silk protein. And this is the various uses of the silk. It is for clothing, home textiles, luxury goods, medical applications, art and crafts, and also industrial uses. And it is also for personal care. And we have also other animal fibers. From this include mohair from Angora goats, and we have also alpaca from alpacas. The fiber is lightweight, warm, and hypoallergenic. And also from Angora rabbits and from cashmere. And this fiber of cashmere is soft, warm, and finer than sheep's wool. So that is the different animal fibers. And we proceed to mineral fibers. Mineral fibers are derived from geological sources and are less common in textile applications. The most notable example is asbestos, which was once widely used but has been largely phased out due to its health risks. It was historically used for its resistance, durability, and insulating properties, while basalt fiber is made from fine fibers of basalt, a type of volcanic rock, and it is used for its high strength and thermal resistance. And these are the different uses. It is for construction materials, fireproofing, railways, automotive industry, rock wool, textiles, paving stones, electrical, and industrial applications. We have also the sculptures and monuments and for landscape design. So let's move to the plant fibers with its different part of the plants. We have the bast, the leaf, the wood, the seed, and also the grass stem or stalk. And first we proceed to bast. Bast fibers are obtained from the inner bark of plants including the flax or linen, the hemp, the jute, the rami, and also kenar. Linen is from the flax plant with blue flowers. Linen is known for its strength and coolness. And we have also the jute, extracted from the bark of the jute plant. It is strong and often used in making burlaps, sacks, and ropes. And also we have the hemp. Source are from the cannabis plant. Hemp fibers are durable and used in textiles, ropes, and biodegradable plants. So that is the bast from plant. So let's proceed to the leaf of the plant fibers. Leaves are extracted from the leaves of plants such as the abaca or the Manila hemp, the sisal, the banana or pineapple, and these are plant fibers from the leaf, and this is the different uses. We have the rope and twine, the textiles, paper production, industrial applications, brushes, mats and rugs, and also for agriculture, and also for crops and decor. So let's proceed to seed or fruit. Seed or fruit are obtained from the seeds of plants, with cotton being the most prominent example, and also oil palm and kapuk and the fruit of plants, which is the coconut fiber or also known as core. And this is the different uses. We have the textiles, upholstery, the rope and twine, insulation, stuffing material, mats and rugs, agricultural uses, and also for agricultural, for industrial applications. Cotton is the most important plant fiber grown in the world, derived from the seeds of cotton plants. It is soft and breathable. And that is the plant fiber from seed on fruit. So let's proceed to this plant fiber of wood from soft and hard. And this is the various uses of wood for paper production, construction, textiles, composites, insulation, furniture, molding and millwork, and also for bioenergy. These wood fibers is valued for their strength, versatility, and sustainability. So let's move to the grass stem or stalk of plant. This is a fiber from a reed canary grass, wheat straw, rice straw, cereal straw, and bamboo. This is for paper production, textiles, construction, bioplastics, composites, construction industries, animal bedding, mulch, and compost, and also for handicrafts. Grass stem fibers are appreciated for their abundance, renewability, and versatility. So this is the different plant fibers. We have the bast, the seed or fruit, the wood, and also the grass stem. So these are the natural fibers. Natural fibers are materials derived from plants, animals, and mineral sources that can be spun into filaments, threads, or loops. These fibers are used in the production of textiles, ropes, paper, and various other products. Natural fibers are valued for their biodegradable nature and the minimal environmental impact associated with their production. Natural fibers are appreciated for their sustainable attributes and versatility in various applications, from everyday clothing to specialized industrial products. So that is the natural fibers, including the animal fibers, the mineral fibers, and also the different types of plant fibers. So let's proceed to the different synthetic fibers, including the nylon, polyester, acrylic, and also elastane. The synthetic fibers. Synthetic fibers or man-made fibers come from chemicals, usually taken from coal or oil. Synthetic fibers are manufactured in chemical plants. First, we discuss about the polyester. Polyester is a polymer category that contains the ester functional group in every repeat unit of their main chain. These fibers, along with natural fibers, are spun together as a single unit to produce a cloth with blended properties. It is most preferred to as polyethylene terephthalate. These are mainly considered as naturally occurring chemicals in both plants as well as insects. It is also includes synthetic materials such as polybutyrate. Synthetic polyesters are most used in making apparel. An amalgamation of polyester and soft cotton to form blends is strong, wrinkle, and tear resistant, and reduces shrinking. Synthetic fibers that use polyester have high water, wind, and environmental resistance in comparison to plant fibers. They are less fire resistant and can also melt when ignited. Tyrylene is specifically a brand name for PET. PET or polyethylene terephthalate, a strong, stiff synthetic fiber and resin and a member of the polyester family of polymers. PET is spun into fibers for permanent press fabrics and blue molded into disposable beverage bottles. And polyester, this is the different uses. It is for clothing, home textiles, outdoor gear, industrial applications, automotive, packaging, and also medical products. Polyester is prized for its strength, durability, versatility, affordability, resistance to wrinkles and shrinking, and low moisture absorption. So, let's move to nylon. Nylon is also known as polyamide. Nylon is the most useful synthetic material with applications varying from daily life activities to industries. It has the highest strength to weight ratio of any fiber. It is the second generation of fibers originally made to imitate silk fiber. It is a plastic that can be drawn into fibers or molded into daily products for making amenities. And this is the different uses for clothing, home textiles, outdoor gear, automotive industrial applications, medical products, and also sports equipment. And that is the nylon. And nylon's properties include high tensile strength, durability, resistance to abrasion, and also elasticity. And we have also the acrylic. Acrylic fibers are synthesized from synthetic polymer called acrylonitrile. Any authentic acrylic fiber fabric must contain at least 85% acrylonitrile. It may contain lesser amounts of synthetic compounds too. The fabric varies based on the content of that acrylonitrile is mixed with. It is produced by the reaction of petroleum or coal-based chemicals with monomers. This implies that acrylic falls into the category of belonging to a fossil fuel-based fiber. This was initially developed to imitate wool, but easier to care for. Acrylic fibers finds its usage in heat retention applications. It is also often used in athletic equipment, as in tracksuits, hoodies, and athletic pants. However, the fiber is carcinogenic in nature. Therefore, more contact is undesirable with this fiber. Acrylic fibers from a cheaper alternative to natural wool. It is obtained from natural sources and it is also more durable in comparison to natural wool. And this is the various uses for clothing, for home textiles, outdoor gear, crafts, industrial applications, and also a synthetic fur. Acrylic fibers is often chosen for its wool-like feel, lightweight, softness, color retention, and resistance for fading, wrinkles, and mildew. And that is the synthetic fibers called acrylic. And lastly, synthetic fiber, we have elastane. Elastane is also known as spandex or lycra. Is a synthetic fiber known for its exceptional elasticity. It can be stretched up to 5 to 8 times its original length and revert to its original shape when the tension is released. Elastane is often blended with other fibers to impact stretchability and improve comfort and fit in various garments. And this is the various uses we have for clothing, home textiles, medical textiles, and also industrial applications. Elastane's primary advantage is its ability to enhance the flexibility and comfort of fabrics and making it a popular choice in many textile applications. So that's are the different types of synthetic fibers including the nylon, polyester, acrylic, and also elastane with its different uses. So the last but not the least type of fiber, we have the regenerated fibers or also known as rayon, including the viscose, modal, lyocell with its brand name Bamberge, and also acetate. Regenerated fibers is also known as rayon. Is from a natural source, for example from wood, pulp, prime vine, or eucalyptus tree. And the cellulose fibers are processed to remove impurities, treated with chemicals. Further processing results in a regenerated fiber. Regenerated fibers are more environmentally friendly than synthetic fibers. The first manufactured fiber using cellulose as was known as rayon, and this rayon was a regenerated cellulose. Is the oldest obtained man-made fiber, and it is derived from primarily from purified cellulose obtained from wood pulp, and this pulp is chemically converted into cellulose acetate, which makes the fiber easily soluble in solvents, owing its sources to naturally occurring polymers. It is sometimes also termed as semi-synthetic fiber. Rayon comes in several types, and these are the different types. We have the viscose, the modal, lyocell or Bamberge, and acetate. So let's go to the different features of regenerated fibers. First, we have the acetate, made by modifying cellulose with acetic acid. Acetate is less absorbent than other rayons, but has a luxury feel and high luster, and it is often used in linings, formal wear, and evening gowns. And we have also viscose, the most common type made by dissolving cellulose from wood pulp and regenerating it into fibers. It is soft, absorbent, and has a silk-like feel, often used in clothing, home textiles, and upholstery. And we have also modal, made from beech tree cellulose. Modal is a type of viscose that's even softer and more breathable. It is often used in high quality clothing and bedding due to its smooth texture and resistant to shrinkage and fading. And we have also Bamberge from Lyocell rayon. Bamberge rayon, also known as Bamberge or Bemberge, is a specific type of rayon fiber made from regenerated cellulose, typically derived from cotton, linters, or wood pulp. It is a brand name for a high quality of lyocell, a fiber known for its soft feel and breathable. And lyocell rayon is produced using a more environmentally friendly process compared to viscose. It involves dissolving cellulose in a non-toxic solvent to form fibers. Lyocell is strong, highly absorbent, and has a silky feel, commonly used in activewear, undergarments, and home textiles. These rayon fibers is valued for its softness, drape, and versatility, and each type of rayon offers different benefits dependent on its intended application, including the softness, the durability, and environmental impact. So that is the different types of fibers, the natural, the synthetic, and also regenerated fibers. In summary, practical ecology focuses on utilizing ecological principles for human needs, including the edible and medicinal plants and also the different types of fibers. Edible plants provide nutrition, while medicinal plants offer therapeutic benefits. Fibers, the natural, synthetic, and regenerated, are used for clothing, construction, and many more. Understanding and responsibly utilizing these resources is important for sustainable living and human well-being. And that is my report. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you learn a lot from the practical ecology, edible and medicinal plants, and also the different types of fiber. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for your attention.